Hello, everyone. My name is Kunal Gandhi, and I'm a spiritual healer. Done lots of energy healing modalities. I was looking at the news, and I could see like a lot of um, fear around people losing jobs and people not having money to live on, and things like that, and a lot of people going on to welfare systems as well. And I was thinking, like, what is it that I could do to help? And what is it that I can do to really like utilize my energy healing abilities to help you guys? So I decided to record this healing video in which I would be discussing a lot of things about abundance, especially focusing on the subject of money, because money is such an important thing in our lives, right? Um, Okay, why am I doing this video? I mean, it's a way for me to give back to the community as well, and I would like to help people create more possibilities in their life. That's the main aim. And besides, it gives me a chance to use my abilities as well. So I think it's two things. Thank you. Um, what's the aim of this video? The aim of this video is to essentially like go through different things that can block you from having the money that you desire, because whether you believe you can have money or not, it could be coming from some sort of conditioning that you had, maybe because your parents said something, or a friend said something, or something like that. So we are going to go in a bit of detail on those things. So I'm just going to talk about general scenarios, give some examples from my own life as well, and I hope, and at the end of it we will do some mini clearing as well, some energy healing work for this one. Okay, cool. So, what is money? Well, money is a form of exchange. You do some work, you get paid, whether whether you're doing a job, you have a business, you provide a service, you get paid, or you can simply have a bit of money laying in the bank account, savings account, and you get some interest from it. So, what does money do? Money gives you possibilities, money gives you choices. And why do I say that? Well, if you would like to, I mean, for an example, let's say you're going to fly somewhere for a nice holiday, and you get to the airport, and you somehow realize, or someone tells you that, hey, we got plenty of seats in the business class, would you like to upgrade? If you're thinking whether you would like to upgrade or not, and you would ask how much is the price for the upgrade and things like that, and they might say, oh, it's $2,000 to upgrade, and does it cover, is it like a $2,000 return? They're like, oh no, this is only one way. You might start thinking, do I really want to be spending that kind of money, or do I have that kind of money? And imagine if you had that kind of money, if you had a lot of money and you didn't need to think about it. I mean, it's a choice, obviously, whether you decide to upgrade or not, but to have that choice, to be able to make a decision whether to not or to yes, you need to have money. So that's what money gives you. It gives you choices, it creates possibilities, and it's just interesting, like, there are so many opinions on money. So we are going to go through some of the most common opinions and some of the most common blockers that stop people from having money. Okay, alrighty, let's go into it. So, what is it that can limit money? One of those things is fears. If someone has a fear of having too much money, and they are scared that the government might come after them or something like that, or they will be required to pay too much taxes, that can stop you. Um, I mean, paying taxes is a good thing because you're helping the government, you're helping, you're giving back to the country as well. You're helping with the infrastructure development and things like that. I mean, how would you imagine the government will build hospitals, public hospitals, and roads and bridges and things like that. Where is the government going to get all that money from? And I mean, paying taxes is not the bad thing. Paying taxes is definitely a good thing, but I would suggest like speaking with a financial advisor or someone like that if you don't know enough about the tax system, and if there could be, legal ways to save tax. I would say contact your financial advisor for the best advice. But any sort of fear of having to pay too much tax or having to pay too much to the government or something like that can also stop you from getting that uh, pay rise or getting like a lot of money, because you might have fear that, get too much money, have to pay too much money to the government. Why would I want to do that? Why won't I have it all in my pocket, or in my account? Obviously. um, some other fears that can also happen could relate to, like, if you had too much money, do you think there'll be like too many people after you, asking you about having a bit of money? Like sometimes, you have those people who are like, oh, this guy is so rich, he should be supporting all the charities. It's almost like people try to put like an obligation on you. They try to, project their thinking on you that because you're rich, you have to support everybody. That's not the case. That's not the truth. If there's any kind of fear in you that is basically coming from a space of, if I get too much money, I will have to support a lot of people, or a lot of people will be asking me for money, that's a huge blocker. Just know that. Another possibility, another reason, common reason for money issues is family opinions. How was your family money situation when you were growing up? Did your family had a lot of money? Or did they work really hard to get small amounts of money? Did you get told a lot of times not to waste any money? Did you get freedom to essentially, did you had a choice during your childhood to make decisions about what to buy, what not to buy? Or were you told by your parents that we only have this much, we can only spend this much, don't think outside the box, don't, don't try to go outside your limits? Did somebody put a limit on you? What was that limit? Because sometimes these limits can be subconscious. These could be things that happen during childhood, which are still affecting you in some way or shape. And if you can discover what these limits are, you can change the limits as well. Talking about that from experience, by the way. What else? Another thing about family. Would your family be happy if you had a lot of money? Would your family members be happy for you if you had more money than them? How would they feel? What would they tell you? Would they start taunting you that, oh, you got too much money, now you don't have time to speak to me, now you don't call me anymore? Would your friends be still your friends if you had a lot of money? Do your family, do your friends really want you to succeed? Consciously, I'm sure they would want you to succeed, but subconsciously, is there like a aspect where they sabotage every time you become successful, every time you're happy? Somebody comes and says, why are you smiling so much? Why are you laughing so much? What's wrong with you? I still remember, during my childhood, I used to laugh a lot. I used to laugh really loudly, and I used to really if there was something I really enjoyed, I would laugh a lot. And on a few occasions, I was instantly shut down by some relatives, essentially, because they just found me to be silly, or at least they thought I was too happy, and they were struggling to be happy. But happiness is a choice, right? You can't force somebody to be happy who doesn't want to be happy. You can choose to be happy anytime, anywhere you want. Cool. Are your friends looking forward to you succeeding? Or are they looking forward to you failing? I mean, remember, this can be subconscious, so it's not that consciously somebody is, attacking you every day or something like that. Obviously, that's not a friend, just in case you didn't know. But yeah, do you have any friends who are kind of waiting for you to fail? Do you have any friends or family who don't support your views on how to proceed further, your views to get more money? I mean, support your good ideas. I'm not talking about any malicious ideas and things like that. So just, that's the context. Um, do you have somebody in your life who constantly rejects your ideas? If you have an idea, you get really excited, you go up to them, it's like, hey, I got this really good idea, I would like to make so much money. And they're like, nah, that's not going to work, nah, just ignore that, that's rubbish. Do you have someone like that? Do you have someone who always tells you, nah, you can do it better that way? They never, they never say, oh, you did a good job, really, really well done, very good. But you can add this thing next time you try. Have you been hurt by other people in the past when you were really happy? You tried to, show them something because you were really excited and you wanted to share information. You wanted the happiness to spread. You tried to spread happiness and you got shut down. So these sort of fears, these kind of situations can essentially have a huge impact on people because they can essentially make a person question themselves and what they are doing as well. You could, let's say you get all excited, about something, maybe you go to the local gelato place and have a milkshake or something with a few gelato ice cream scoops. And you're really happy. It's like, hey, I'm really in a good mood. You look at somebody else smiling at you, passing on the roadside. You tell them how happy you are, but as you're about to tell them about the gelato, something in the back of your mind says, hey, don't do it. It's a bad idea. Remember what happened last time? We got shut down? Don't do it. So you, instead of being able to express yourself, you try to restrict yourself back into not expressing yourself, and that old memory kind of triggers in the back of your mind. So that's the impact it can have. So it can stop people from truly enjoying themselves, because if you have like a negative tape in the back of your mind, it can be pretty tricky to enjoy yourself. Alrighty, let's talk about the next topic. Next topic is the big block to abundance is resentment. So you might think, why would I resent somebody who is rich? Okay, I mean, I hope you don't. But what happens when you hear about a CEO of a big bank, CEO of a big software company like Bill Gates or somebody like that? What happens? What's the opinion you have of them? Do you think they are saving all the money, not paying any taxes, not giving anything back to the government? And people get very strong opinions about rich people, and they almost seem to be like, there's also like this whole mass consciousness around rich people attracting so much negative publicity simply for being rich. And I often hear like people talking about like the richest billionaires in the world. They're like, oh, these guys are not doing much charity, they're not, they're no good. I mean, what do you know? You know for sure? Have you looked at their bank accounts? Have you looked at all the charities they support? I mean, do you actually know? Or are you listening to somebody's video, who decided to blame these guys, and that you decided to join the bandwagon just because you feel, like a victim in your life? So who are you being when you think about rich people? Do you have resentment that rich person get everything they like to have? I can't. I would suggest looking at where the resentment comes from, because maybe it's coming from your past, maybe growing up because your parents said stay within your limits. Maybe those limits that were set and by your parents and accepted by you as a child, maybe those limits need to be revisited, maybe those limits need to be removed so you can truly express yourself, you can truly receive. Being rich is not a bad thing, you know. You got possibilities, you got so many choices. Being poor is not a good thing because, I mean, there's so much restriction, you know. You got less of a choice, and like often people who are not making as much money as they would like to, or often people who are feeling poor and not feeling in abundance, are essentially feeling like a victim in their lives. And I mean, it's not a useful situation to be in. So I would suggest like going deeper, digging deeper into where does it exactly begin, where did it begin, and who was it that told you to remain within your limits? Who was it that told you that this is the best you can get? Don't try to, act smart. Don't try to go, think outside the box. Don't try to fly. I would say like ponder over those things, meditate over, any limiting beliefs that you had from the past, and ask the source energy, or if you believe in divine presence, ask the energy to clear it for you, so that you can truly step into the abundance that is your natural birthright. Another thing that's quite interesting is if you have your own business and the business is not doing really well, um, you might want to look at a possibility where you look at a big company and you're like, hey, these guys are making so much money, they're not paying any taxes to the government. Oh my god, that's such a bad thing. I mean, there's so much, news about Google and who Microsoft and all those guys. They are not paying much taxes, and a lot of people want to want the regulators to arrest, like the CEOs and things like that. I'm hearing all those things. But consider this alternative opinion about. I mean, this is my opinion, obviously. Consider this different way of thinking, like a lot of these big companies, they employ so many people, while the company itself might be trying to save taxes just so that they have more money to spend for their research and development and things like that, or just to have a cash pile at least. A lot of the employees that they have, because they are big companies, they are employing like thousands and thousands of people, hardworking people who are working, who are paying taxes. They are not skipping on the taxes. So these big companies are not really the bad guys that everyone is making out to be. Yes, I mean, if they are smartly managing taxes using all the legal ways, then obviously kudos to them. They're doing a good job. But I mean, I would suggest like removing any resentment that you have against them. Another thing that I found that stops people from having money or anything that they like is like if your focus is completely on what somebody else has. It's like, oh, how did this guy get the car? How did this guy get the house? How does he have such a nice flat? How does he have the, all the things? A lot of jealousy, unfortunately, which is also like somehow linked with the resentment as well. All of that stuff can really like block somebody. So I mean, my suggestion is if you really want to um, improve in life, you ought to focus. You ought to put the focus back on yourself, because if you're not putting the focus back on you, then you don't have anybody. You're just going to go around blaming everybody else for your failure, but you're never going to own up your own responsibility. You're not never going to say, hey, okay, I need to make some changes in my life so I can then attract more abundance towards me. So it's my suggestion that you start owning anything, any limiting beliefs and things like that, and essentially like getting rid of those negative beliefs. Like first identify them as they come about. As you become aware of them, just make sure not to act on those negative beliefs, and then find somebody who can help you, or just meditate on it. Meditation is free, it doesn't cost anything, right? just set the intention. I would like to meditate. I would like to really um, live without this negative belief. Just say like, source energy, please help me. Just do that, and I'm sure you will get the help you need, or you will be in touch with somebody who can help, or something that can help you. You will definitely run into some resource. I can guarantee you that. Whether it happens on the same day, the same moment, or over a week, you will know when it happens. That's been my experience, by the way. Okay, so let's do a bit of mini clearing. I hope I was able to shed some sort of light, and it is possible that the stuff I've been talking about has triggered some old memories to surface up, and some of those old memories may have come into your conscious awareness, which means you may have you might have noticed, or you might have realized something that your dad said, or mom said, or somebody, family said, friends said. You might be aware of something that was said like a long time ago, which could still be running in the back of your mind. I hope something has come up. And alrighty, let's do mini clearing. So I'm going to say that, guys, please close your eyes and just relax your body totally. Be in a comfortable position, like whether it's a chair. If you feel comfortable to lie down, do that. If you feel comfortable to sit in a chair or something like that, do that as well. Whichever is comfortable, just make sure your body is relaxed, it's not stressed out. Okay, take a deep breath in and release. Okay, so I'm going to invoke the divine presence that is within all of you to come forth and transmute any kind of memories that are coming up, and change them into love and light and abundance. So I'm going to witness as it happens in you. Just relax, you don't have to do anything, you just have to relax. This divine presence is your connection to source energy, is the very consciousness of your being. This is the energy that activates the human body. This is the energy that works behind the scenes, by the way. Cool, you can open your eyes now. Just take a deep breath and open your eyes. I hope this session has helped you somewhat to be able to become aware of your limiting beliefs, or limited thinking, whether it comes from whether it was yours or came from your family, or has been generational or something like that in the within the family or friends, or your own thinking, or whether it's a mass consciousness, like a lot of people talking about, like rich people are crooks and things like that. I mean, wherever it comes from, I hope you had some sort of help from this healing session. So I give you thanks, and see you in the next episode, where I would be discussing about some other topics as I become aware of them. Thank you very much. Namaste.